you need to create a culture where there's trust and there's transparency. And I think fear can be a good thing because it can protect us, but it's how we optimize that fear. Because if we take that fear and we look at how we can take it and how we can find a sense of control, how we can use it as a tool and not something that can overwhelm us and drown us. So if because I think a lot of innovation sometimes comes right in the middle of turbulent times in a storm when you are forced to change. You know, the environment says you either do or you die. And then we are forced to change. And I think human beings, naturally, we adapt to change. I mean, we have always, that's why you find us in every climb in every part of this planet, even in space. You know, we can adapt and we can evolve and change. But yes, if we become crippled by the fear, then that's a problem. And, when this podcast talks a lot about individual resilience, and sometimes it's not to shy away from the fear, but it's to walk into the storm. It's to embrace the struggle. It's to embrace the suck. Because when you go into it, then you can learn from that fear. And that can actually crystallize into something. We can actually weaponize that fear because all of a sudden we feel the fear, but we see it as information. Okay, what do I want to do with this data? Let's focus on what we control, what we can influence. Let's create a sense of certainty of what we can do. At the top of this conversation, we talked about not always worrying about what the outcome is, because the outcome will be shaped by future. We can use it for orientation and direction. But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, guys and gals, how can we invest our effort to create some sort of stability? So we can use that fear actually as a fuel, but not something that will drown us, but will drive us.